My name's Jarrett Ciesielski, and today I'll be talking about investing and why I think it's important. I think investing is important because it is just another way of getting income, more money, and more money can never really be a bad thing, I feel like. But before I start talking about types of investments, I think I'll start talking about compound interest. And according to the Fidelity Institute's compound interest is when the interest you earn ends up earning its own interest. So if the account has compound interest, it's better to start the account sooner rather than it is later, just because that compound interest will add up earlier rather than later. But the first type of investment I'm going to talk about is a long term investment. There's types of long term investments like rental properties or Roth IRA accounts or other stuff, but according to the Corporate Finance Institute, a long term investment is an asset that someone intends to hold on to for at least 3 years. So long term investments are more of a, you got to be more committed if you're going to make a long term investment, but long term investments tend to be lower risk. Personally, I opened up a Roth IRA account a couple years back, and I'm pretty happy with how the account's been doing so far. But the account was pretty simple to set up. I set up an appointment at an investing company, and I think it took me about an hour just to get the account information and my direct deposit and everything set up. Because right now with a direct deposit, I have to touch no money. I don't really have to do anything besides just make sure I have that amount of money in my bank account when it's that time of the month for the money to go into the other account. But I like my Roth IRA account route because I don't know, it's just simpler than owning a rental or something. It's more of a lazy man's way of doing it. But long-term investments tend to be simple, or in my case, simple, but they have lower risks, and in my eyes, they're just another passive income. The money you already earned is like working for you, so I'm putting my money into that account and it's gaining interest. It's kind of working for me in my eyes. The only thing that kind of annoys me about the Roth account is there's restrictions or requirements. Like there's a base minimum and a maximum yearly amount of money that I can but deposit. And there's also the account has to be open for 5 years, or you can turn 59 and a half, then you get access to the money. I like the Roth IRA account because it's a pre-tax instead of after-tax, so they tax me on the money I put in when I put it in, and then after that, it's not going to get taxed again, so all the money in there is just mine for the taking when I'm 59 and a half or whenever I get old enough to decide to take money out of it. But another part of investments is short-term investments. Short-term investments are defined by investing.com as a financial asset that is intended to be held for up to 3 years. So it's kind of just the opposite of a long-term investment. Short-term investments tend to be riskier, but they also tend to be more liquid. And according to finance strategists, liquidity is how easily an asset can be turned into a cash price that reflects its intrinsic value. So I think a good example of short-term investing would be like stocks or something. But that I would also say is kind of like gambling with an educated guess. You have to be paying attention to trends and everything, just what's happening around the world to know whether a stock's going to go up or if it's going to start depreciating. Um, I have a classmate that deals into stocks a good bit. We were in class one day and he bought a stock, and 15 minutes later he sold it in the same class and he made $247 off of it. It sounds nice doing that, but at the same time, there's a pretty good learning curve that he has to do, and he also has to be paying attention like constantly to what's going on around the world to know about the stocks, whether they're going up, going down, or they're going to try and ease off a bit. But I would say short-term stocks tend to be riskier. They have a high learning curve, and you have to pay more attention. So for my Roth IRA account, I open up my Roth account probably once a blue moon, once every couple months, just when I get bored and I decide to, when I get curious about how much money's in the account. That's the only time I open it and say it's bare minimum effort. And it makes me money. But he's got to be paying attention like all throughout the day, pretty much every day, or whenever he's looking to buy stocks and sell them. He's got to be like on top of it. And then he also has to know when to sell them. Because if you get too greedy, you hold the stock too long, you might wait too long and then it's going to lose value and that's how you end up losing money. So he made 247 bucks in 15 minutes, but he also could have lost that 247 bucks just as quick. Um I would say long-term investments are safer and I don't know, in my case they're pretty simple and it just sets you up pretty nicely for the future. And I would say short-term stocks can just help you turn your money around and try and make something more out of them. I hope you learned something about investing, and I hope you consider doing it.